Summer spending has already started and I'm over it. I can't wait for fall. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, again, welcome back. It's been a doozy. Today is June 30th and we are budgeting my last paycheck for the month of June. I do get paid twice a month. I am a 40-ish mom of two. We are a family of four. And when I do these budget with me videos, I am budgeting solely my paycheck. So if you're new here, you may not know, but my husband and I do have a system to which we split the bill. I am a YNABer, he is not. And so each paycheck, I use the YNAB software to give every dollar a job and decide where my money needs to go and what bills I need to pay for each pay period. Let's get into it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is cover some overspending. Like I said early on, summer has officially started and it started with a bang. As you can see up here, the Switch 2 was released this month. I talked in my last video about how I managed to get one and how I had grossly overspent in my hobbies category. Anyway, let's cover this overspending. So we got $89.92 overspent, and if I can, I'm going to try to cover it from the same categories that it came from. Since today is the last day of the month, I'm going to move this money from groceries to cover food and drink. I'm going to snooze this, and then I'm going to take the $67.72 from my hobbies category. So my hobbies category does have money in it, but that money was recently added from some things that I sold on eBay and Mercari. If you want to know how I spent my money during the month of June, I may do a end of month wrap up. I always go back and forth because I'm not sure if anybody would be really interested in that, but if you see the amount I spent in hobbies this month, you may want to know where that came from. In any case, for June, I'm going to look to see if anything else is underfunded. I don't see anything. And then everything that is snoozed, I think we are good to go. So this Verizon has a little bit of change left into it, but it's a refill up to, so I'll let that roll over to next month. All right, everything, let's go back. I believe everything in June is already covered. Nothing to see here. So I'm going to go over to July, and I am going to start assigning money in July. But before I do that, I'm going to take a moment and change to the Chrome browser so I can use the YNAB toolkit. It'll be a second for you, but I should have got that set up before I got started. And we are back. So now that I'm in Chrome, so first I'm going to do 20% to sinking funds. I just started doing this last month. I just want to make sure with the new debt that is added to my YNAB that I still am able to save money. So I'm going to fund half of my tithe, and I'm just going to go down the list of bills. So this paycheck happened on June 30th, and it needs to pay any bills that are due before the 15th. If you are looking at this, a lot of my bills are due at the end of the month. I'm probably going to need to fund some of these in advance. Total underfunded bills comes to $1,805.76. So I'm going to try to fund at least $900. I'm definitely going to fund this because that's going to come up tomorrow. And then I also like to fund half of my car payment. And then I'm going to fund this. So how much is that so far? I signed in July, $492. So I have about $400 more I need to sign. So let's just go down the list, and I'm looking at this underfunded amount. And I'm just going to fund all the way up to Verizon. And that Verizon may be a little bit overfunded once that 36 cents rolls over. I'll take care of that later. All right, so that leaves $893.35. I'm going to fund my first 2 weeks of groceries. I have my groceries split into 4 separate categories. I'm just going to fund the first half of the month, and then these I want to fund half, which is $372.50. And I've got that taken care of. I'm going to fund half of stuff I forgot to budget. I always use this because I'm always forgetting something. And I also use that to cover overspending. That leaves 205.85. Can I cover this? Almost. Maybe I looked at it wrong. Nope, nope, I definitely did not. Underfunded 71. So I'm going to add 23, 26. I'm just going to add the rest of this in here, and then I'll fund the rest later. All right, so now I still have sinking funds to fund. And so what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to take the money that I put in first things first. I'm going to take that back out, and we're going to start funding some of these. I'm definitely going to need gifts because I don't know if I mentioned it last video or not, but summer is very expensive, not only because of the trips and outings and things of that nature, but my family has a lot of birthdays that happen in June, July, and August. That small segment from June to August is like 6 to 8 birthdays. And so I just want to make sure that I'm covering it all. I funded kids and I'm funding half of maintenance. That leaves $297.42. I'm going to go ahead and cover, next month is July. I'm going to go ahead and cover vacation because we do have a few trips coming up. One's a weekend trip, one's a longer trip. And then I'm going to put the rest, I think, in home maintenance. And so my next paycheck, hopefully I'll be able to cover what's left underfunded. So if I select this, my next paycheck will be just enough to cover the remaining underfunded categories with a little bit left over. That was very quick, but that is everything for my next paycheck. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below, and I'll catch you next time.